Culture Pro Wrestling Show on April 1st. And
What culture? What
at,
culture?
at Ringside with Jim Ross on April 2nd, where I will also be there along with the Artful Dodger, Bruce Pritchard. So that'll be.
Oh, you're going to be there. No wonder you don't want any heat. You don't want to get in a download pissing contest, do you? Tell him I'm the king of download.
Cornette's going to start working with TNA Impact. That's what's going to happen.
Sounds like it, don't it? Jimmy, you care to confess to anything?
What's happening here?
Yeah, I confess I will not at this time be working for TNA Impact, and I don't know how else to say that.
Well, I guess
I do have nothing against Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel, but I think they got their hands full, and I'm not ready to think. I'm not ready to think about a wrestling promotion on a full-time basis, no matter what it is.
They're good folks over there, the Jarretts and that.
If I had to actually follow one particular wrestling promotion's product on a regular basis, enough to be familiar with the talent and the programs and the angles and the whole lay of the land to work there on a full-time basis, I would shoot myself in the fucking head.
Oh, I thought you was going to actually name a company, maybe like New Japan or...
No, I would shoot myself in the head if I actually had to keep up with a single wrestling promotion. I'm enough to work there on a regular basis.
I'm actually considering talking to Triple H and getting a job at NXT so I can manage Shinsuke Nakamura so I can finally get him to the WWE roster.
Yeah.
I am the star maker.
Well, you're probably the only one who could get him there.
Yeah, probably.
The new numbers, we don't need the Hardys. Look at these numbers. They sucked.
Fuck the Hardys.
In fact, we're going to build a wall outside this whole fucking building. We're going to let anybody in. We'll do the show by ourselves. Jim, what do you think about this, the TNA situation with the Hardys and all this shit?
I would have to think, I mean, Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantel are wrestling people, so I would think that they would know that it's not going to ever end well if you sue the boys, especially over something that everybody universally agrees on was Matt Hardy's idea.
Yeah.
And whether people pitched in shit or not. Point is, and once again, that's why I hate the whole intellectual property thing and guys changing names from promotion to promotion. The way wrestlers get over is by being themselves and coming up with a gimmick that works for them and traveling all over the country and all over the world, being a megastar everywhere they go, and that way they continue to draw money. When they're in one company...
God
Shut
damn,
up.
If you or I had ever thought of that, that was
when they're just in one company, unless they get to the fucking John Cena Undertaker level, they get old and they get stale and they need to go somewhere else to freshen up. And it's nice to see some guy do it. And then Anthem, it starts out in the wrestling business, just the PR aspect.
Yeah.
They've started out in the wrestling business by getting a promotion that they could work with, Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor is on their air in Canada.
Right.
They get them kicked off the Dish Network with a cease and desist letter. They intimidate the other companies.
That's enraging, by the way, dude. I'm so pissed off at that.
Wait a minute, I'm still ranting.
Okay.
They intimidate the other companies with cease and desist letters about Ring of. Nobody wants to get your providers to get legal letters about your product.
Well, help me out here, Jimmy.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Why are they getting cease and desist?
Because they're claiming that they own the Hardys. They own the gimmick that the Hardys have created for themselves.
But they weren't even there.
And the wife and the son and the brother and etc.
Who the fuck would want to claim ownership of that? That's what I want to know.
Well, but point being,
well, they weren't even there when it happened.
They've got a company that they're trying to rehabilitate in the fans' eyes. And instead, they piss off all the fans because they're naturally going to take the Hardy side because that gimmick is theirs and nobody else could do it. And Anthem is not going to get any money off that fucking gimmick in the future because nobody's going to do it if they get a settlement and get a piece of their gimmick. It pisses off a promotion they could potentially work with. So they're pissing off other promotions. They're pissing off talent. Who's going to want to go there and get over on their air?
This can't be
They can't do anything that gets over when they leave there. And they've screwed some of the boys that was the only interesting thing about the program from what I'm hearing, since I don't watch it, until Anthem just bought the company. So it's a massive PR nightmare to fans, to current wrestlers, and past wrestlers.
Can't be anything to do with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Jeff Jarrett must be over there freaking out that, like, this isn't in his control, I got to believe.
I would think that Jeff and Dutch know that they have a little row to hoe in front of them to get things going again, and that this could in no way be considered a positive. So I imagine probably not thrilled.
Jim and Kenny and Jim, this I want to ask you guys. I want to let you know TNA is actually allowing you to name that stupid fucking owl for a $150 shopping spree on their website if you name
Wow.
it. Yeah, you get $150. So both of you guys right now, what would you name the owl?
Hoot Gibson.
Hoot Gibson?
There's Hoot Hogan, Hootie Houdini. There's a lot.
I think they should
Number
name
one, I didn't know they had an owl, and I've recorded like 10 of the shows, and I didn't know they had an owl.
I think they should name it Broken Matt Hardy. We should start a campaign.
Somebody said they should name it Chapter 11, but I don't know. Holy shit!
They've gone on to just amaze me. The fact that they're still in business. I've been predicting their death for about 4 years now, and somehow some ignorant ass keeps coming there and giving them money to keep them going and keep them afloat. The Smashing Pumpkins, I didn't know had $50 to their name, and the Jimmy.
Now you wait a minute. Now hold on here a second. You listen to this goddamn fucking Pie by the Sea.
Cake by the Ocean.
Hall of Fame, Pat Benatar.
I did
fuck those guys.
Holy
fuck 'em.
shit!
What they know? You shouldn't show up and induct Gary Newman into the Hall of Fame if they're not going to put Pat Benatar in. I wouldn't go.
Holy shit!
The whole thing off.
Well, no, Jim. Of course, we're talking about the Rock and Roll Express. Come on.
One Christmas miracle at a time, folks. One Christmas miracle at a time.
Hey,
you're lucky that they've even decided that they know who the Rock and Roll Express are.
Well, when you think Rock and Roll Express, I think Jim Cornette, and that So that,
why in the fuck would you think of them? Jimmy managed the Midnight Express. He didn't have anything to do with the Rock and Roll.
You dumb shit. Of course, it's when you think of Batman, you think of the Joker. When you think of Superman, you think of Luthor.
No, you don't. When you think of Batman,
rivalries. When you think of Ali, you think of Frazier.
When you think of Batman, you think of fucking Robin.
When you think of Cornette, unfortunately, you think of BOLIN because you're always leeching off of me and hanging around.
That's how you see it, huh? You can't admit that I pulled you out of that attic where you couldn't even eat spaghetti on your bed without guidance.
Well, don't even be telling that story.
I pulled you out into the public. You were a shut-in.
You've been listening to a clip from the Bowling Alley with Kenny Bolin and Joe Cronin, hosted on The Joe Cronin Show. Subscribe to The Joe Cronin Show on youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show and listen to the Bowling Alley episodes now on iTunes and on youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show as well.